talked about like how to do a really good bad guy?
I don't know that we talked too much about villains.
We talked a little bit about it.
We talked a little bit.
How it is that the villain, in order to be a villain, they have to like have some good end that they're going for. They can't consider themselves to be evil.
Well, there are some who do, occasionally. But for the most part, every character is a hero in their own story, or at least a protagonist. Even if they don't view themselves as a hero, they will have objectives and motivations, and they will justify them. 99% of the people are going to be justifying what they're doing. Serial killers think they're justified. The worst people in the world think that they're justified in what they're doing. They may not believe that what they're doing is right, but they'll think that they're justified. They'll have excuses or they'll have justifications. And that's a very important part of writing a strong villain. Now, the other question you're going to ask yourself is what type of villain this is. The best way to make a great villain is to put them at odds with the hero, obviously, the protagonist. They are the stumbling block over which the protagonist can't obtain what it is that they want, so that you put them at odds with one another. But the question is, what type of villain are they? What are their motivations? What do they want? I'm, as a lot of readers, fairly tired of the evil overlord who is evil to be evil. You know, I was on a panel once with the aforementioned Pat Rothfuss, and we were talking about this, the two of us, and I'm like, I'm so tired of villains that want to blow up the world. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, who's going to really want to do that? That's where all their stuff is. I'm going to blow up all my stuff. You know, but you can create an anarchist like Heath Ledger's Joker, who really did just want to blow stuff up, and that was believable. So there are exceptions to the rule, but most everybody's going to want something. And that sort of thing. Otherwise, you approach them like you would a hero, except you make their motives less pure. They're an antagonist because they're at cross with the protagonist. They're a villain when what they're trying to achieve is a not good thing. I'm trying to work out how to say that, and you may want to decide if it's just an antagonist or an actual villain that you're looking at. I don't know. What do you guys think? Throw out some advice. What makes a good villain, in your opinion?
I like when I see a villain that I kind of start rooting for sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it might not be in every single situation, but if anyone's ever seen the movie Heat, I really wanted De Niro to get away at the end. Like, I really wanted him to get away. So I think that's something that gets someone involved.
I like villains that, on a certain level, I can, like, understand and even identify with them, such that I find them to be like an enjoyable kind of person to watch and see what they're doing, and I feel like I can kind of see where he's coming from.
Right. We'll work our way this way. So right here first.
I like a capable villain.
Okay.
I like one that is actually a very legitimate threat to the hero, and he's actually really good at what he does, like Scar. He's legitimately good, and to be honest, he's a lot more intelligent than Mufasa is, even though he wouldn't make a very good king.
Right.
And that's one of the things I like in a villain is that.
I think when we did our whole list of what makes a sympathetic protagonist, we pointed out that villains usually are going to have two of these, but they're going to be missing, the one that makes you actually, well, they can be likable too. It's just the motives are going to be bad motives. So competence, activity, and these sorts of things,
I really like well-defined motivations. I like being able to know why the villains are doing what they're doing, even if I don't necessarily agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like villains that, like everyone else has said, that they're competent, that they can actually get things done, that they know what they're doing, and that they actually have a master plan. But I also like to have obstacles, not necessarily villains, but obstacles and things maybe working behind the scenes that are more powerful than either the characters can deal with or handle. But that's just a plot structure kind of thing.
I don't know. I tend to root for heroes more than villains in stories, even my own I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, sometimes the villains I tend to actually like are ones that I love to hate, just because maybe they are so devious and cunning, or maybe because I really do not agree with what they're doing, so I want to see them taken down. The opposite of those, like, people like love villains, but I just like the ones that I love to hate.
I was going to say that they want more than one thing. They don't just want to destroy the hero. They want a plethora of other things. They also want something for their significant people in their lives, and they're more than just like out to destroy the hero.
They become very interesting by having their passions. You know, one of my favorite villains of all time is the guy from Die Hard, Snape, when he's in Die Hard. I like him as Snape too, but you know, in Die Hard, it's like, you know, this guy is just a thief, but his passion for being an awesome thief.
But don't call him a thief.
But don't call him a thief. Yeah, don't call him just a thief.
Right.
Like, is so cool, and he's so interesting, and he's just a miserable human being. Like, there's nothing really redeeming about him except for the fact he's so competent and he's got a passion. And that passion, even if his passion is ripping everyone off, you know, that moment where he gets the locks to open and it's like, you know, the music is playing and it's like majestic that he's done this. I shouldn't be talking about R-rated movies on BOA campus, I suppose, but we've all seen it edited, right?
Clean flicks.
Yeah, since we've all seen. Yeah. So, all right. Let's just do 2 more over here. Oh wait, we'll do 3. Yeah.
I think it's fun when you have villains who have some amount of redeemable qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Not all villains, but you get a villain where you can say, like, even objectively speaking, he isn't or she isn't all bad. I think it makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
More believable.
I really like having it not clearly defined who is going to win.
Okay.
Mine is sort of a follow-up, not a villain quality.
Mhm.
Is that okay? It's about villain stuff.
Okay.
Is there a danger in presenting someone very early on as the clear villain bad guy, and then by the end of the story sort of resolving everything into everybody being in a morally ambiguous situation? Is that
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you've got to have your triumph somewhere else. There needs to be some sort of resolution. It doesn't even have to be a triumph. There has to be a resolution, a satisfying resolution. This is something to keep in mind. We'll get to you two next. No one else raised their hands on this one though, because we got to. But you've got to have a satisfying resolution, which is fulfilling on the promises you made. And if your promises are, you know, these characters will either get together or not, you've got to deal with it. Not dealing with it is unsatisfying. Dealing with it and having it fall apart is satisfying but sad. And separate unsatisfying from sad, and you'll be okay. So if your promises are in the book that, you know, we are going to defeat the villain, realize that you've got to do something with that. But if your promises are we're going to come to learn more and grow and understand, if you can give those promises instead, in the ending where it's like everyone's morally ambiguous and was this guy really a bad guy, that can be a satisfying promise. Right here, and then we'll go to Abraham.
It's good to have a villain that you know you kind of like, but
Mhm.
be careful that you don't make him too likable. One of my biggest problems with Thor, the movie,
Mhm.
is that I really liked Loki. And
Yeah.
the entire time I was like, go Loki!
Mhm.
Stupid Thor, he's just a dumb jock.
Yeah.
And it's
Well-
really bad to like the villain a lot more than the hero. Sorry if everybody likes Thor.
Eh.
I'm probably one of the few that does prefer Thor. Everyone I know prefers Loki, probably because of what you said.
And it got better in the Avengers. However, that movie was just me going, go Loki!
They could have made a great Go Loki movie. About halfway through, they ruined Loki, I felt, in that movie. That's going off on something else, where that first half is Go Loki, and then it's, now I'm just a random evil villain. I was really disappointed when he did that. I wanted him to be more.
With very undefined,
Yeah.
like
Goals.
Goal,
aliens
yeah.
shooting out of space.
Yep. All right.
I remember watching a movie called Wreck-It Ralph. And the guy said that he wanted all of these things and he wanted to become a good person, but he was bad. It didn't matter what he did, he couldn't switch who he was in that perspective. And he eventually realized that he could do bad things but ultimately have a good purpose, and that's one of the things I liked about that movie.
Yeah, I would say that that's an excellent example of the difference between antagonist and villain. He thought antagonist was the same as villain, when by the end of the movie what he realized is, I can play the antagonist in this role, but not actually be the villain. It was a good movie. I really liked it.